So, hi everyone, and I'm here again on the Dams Daily YouTube channel with a very, very bright student, Dr. Aditya Singh. He has secured an amazing rank 22 in the May INICET exams 2024. So, heartiest congratulations, Aditya. It's a proud moment for you and for us.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. It wouldn't be possible without your guidance.
No, I am sure that you've done a lot of hard work, Aditya, and that is why you are here. We want to definitely know what strategy you have used. You know, you've come this far and it's an amazing rank. It's not easy to reach this far. So, a lot of effort must have gone into it, right? So, Aditya, मुझे
Yes.
आप बताओ कि कैसे आपका माइंडसेट था, कैसे आपने तैयारी शुरू करी, and as you kept moving forward, how did what changes did you make in your strategy?
So, ma'am, basically, I'll say this that I actually gave November INICET too,
Okay,
and in that I got a rank of 826,
okay.
and I actually gained confidence after that exam because I had given it absolutely unprepared.
All right.
So that's why I was a bit confident that if I give everything, it's possible that I might get a good rank. And so what I did after November INICET is that after my internships ended, I'm from AIMS only. So our
Okay.
internship ends early, a bit early as compared to other colleges. So I
Yes.
came back at my home and I absolutely closed myself off. And then I gave everything for, I think for 2.5 to 3 months, I'll say that it was day and night. I did only one thing and it was to complete everything because people say that it's necessary to cover only basically the past year questions for INISET, but I personally feel it's better that you know very weird things also, whatever you can, because this exam will just give you something out of your left field. Matlab, you don't know what that question is, and then you have to eliminate everything. So you know need to know a lot of things to eliminate a few options.
Right. I'm glad कि आप, you are going, truthfully about that. You went all out and you did not leave anything unturned, है ना? You did whatever possible, you felt was required for the exam. So, let me ask you now कि अगर हम when we were starting our preparation, what subjects did you keep initially in your preparation phase, and which subjects you thought you would take up later? Any timelines that you sort of had made for yourself?
So, ma'am, I'll say this: after attempting exams, I was very sure that I need to strengthen basically the major subjects, which are
Okay.
surgery and OBG, because they ask in November and I say, ma'am, from OBG, the questions are so weird that I was very confused in the questions. So I initially when I started preparing, I delved deep. I basically completed everything in these two subjects, and I annotated my notes so that during revision it becomes easier for me to recall these things. So these
Right.
were the initial subjects which I did. And then one thing I'll say is this, ma'am, that I did not give that importance to the subjects which are basically covered if you cover everything. For example, medicine. I feel medicine is a subject if you have covered almost everything, all the 18 other subjects. There are only few topics in medicine which are core medicine. So I did everything. I basically kept a very I'll say a strict timeline. I said that I have
Mhm.
to finish it off in 3 months, everything.
Right.
And I could not do everything, but it was what I think it was a good strategy because at least I could reach somewhere there.
Right. And what was the ratio of time that you spent in reading notes, and practicing questions or tests? What was your division?
Ma'am, this I feel this is where I'm not a good person to ask this because I I'm not very I did not do a number of tests or question
Okay.
banks. I actually focused more on notes only, which
Right.
I'll discourage because most of the questions they actually are derived from question banks only, from past years only, as far as INA say it is concerned. I'll say this to not follow what I have done because at the end I was very confused. At the end, I was not in a good state. I am just lucky that I got a good rank. That's all I will say.
No, no, no. I don't think that luck can bring you this far, right? So, बहुत मेहनत लगती है. And so now, since you were saying that, you sort of tried to do everything, and then yes, towards the end, it does become overwhelming because
Yes, ma'am.
uh, the course is vast, and there is no limit to what depth you can go to, right? So let's talk about your revision strategy. Then, when did you start your revision, and how did you go forward with it?
So, ma'am, uh, I'm a very slow reviser, so I need some time to revise. So, once I finished all the subjects, I basically gave. Actually, I planned on doing two revisions, but
Okay.
I could revise only once
Okay.
because I kept 1 month, and I was planning that for first 20 days I'll revise it once, and the next 10 days I'll revise again. But it took me almost a month to revise everything, and I could not even complete that. So I'll say it just pace to all the people who are going to attempt the exam, pace it according to what you can cover. So just it's okay that you keep targets, tough targets initially, but during revision, please do not compromise. Keep a very realistic target and do it. That's all I can say.
Right. And we were talking about how you utilize DVT, especially for your revision, cycle. So, do you think that it was an effective revision resource for you towards the end?
Ma'am, absolutely. I'll say this. Ki if you don't have time, if you have not done a lot, see DVT because in DVT you basically have some areas of your brain are stimulated. There's
Mhm.
important topics that are
Yes.
covered. And I'll say this exam, most of the exams that we attempt, especially INICET, it's more about not doing wrong. So it's better to cover
Yeah.
all the basics because in my exams also, some of the questions that I have done wrong, and I've also talked to people who actually got better than me. They were also very sad actually because there are some questions that are basically status that you will miss also. So it's better
Yes.
to cover your basics and do not try to prevent silly mistakes, which I feel can be done only if your basics are strong. And DVD does that.
Yes, I think you've said a very vital point because that is what, in fact, is the change that I am seeing in INICT, not just in this session, but over a couple of sessions now, that they are asking a lot of basics. It seems as if they know that students are trying to do everything, but they don't know the basics. So that is where the INICT people are hitting hard. They are asking core of a subject, and it's actually basic. If you talk about that subject, it's not a unique thing in that subject. It's a core, it's a basic thing, but they are asking it. And though those are the things that often takes the student by surprise, that oh, okay, I wasn't really prepared for this little aspect. But yes, so he is giving you the right advice. It doesn't matter whether you are doing a lot or not, but it does matter if you're not strengthening your basics, or if you're only focusing on memorizing. It doesn't really go a long way, right?
Absolutely, ma'am. This is why I'll say, and I think a lot of people have said that focus on your first and second year subject because they'll help you in eliminating because there are a number of questions in clinical subjects which you have never even heard of. Matlab, there are, ma'am,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, ma'am. This is why I have very mixed feelings about this exam because,
Mhm.
ma'am, 120 के आसपास questions are absolutely so easy that everyone will get it right. But then there are 50 questions which will confuse you so badly because,
Yeah.
ma'am, दो तीन options में everyone gets confused. So
Yes.
if unless you are clear, it's going to be very difficult.
यस, एंड दैट्स वेयर क्लैरिटी कम्स इन. और इसी में क्या होता है ना, जब आप बहुत ज़्यादा पढ़ लेते हो कई बार, यू लैंड अप गेटिंग कंफ्यूज्ड मोर दैन क्लैरिटी. एंड क्लैरिटी इज मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. कंटेंट इतना नहीं होना चाहिए कि वो आपको इवेंचुअली कंफ्यूज ही कर दे. कंटेंट उतना होना चाहिए जो आपको क्रिस्टल क्लैरिटी दे दे कि सब्जेक्ट में ये अप्रोच करना है, ऐसे करना है, और ऐसे हो तो ऐसे करना है. बिकॉज नो मैटर हाउ मच यू गो in terms of collecting things and going into endless limits, eventually it will all be about whether you can apply it or not, right?
मैम एग्जैक्टली ये मैं बोला था. इनिशियली आई वेंट ऑल आउट बट जब लास्ट आने लगा तो मैम मुझे एक्चुअली यही रियलाइज हुआ कि नहीं 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 बिकॉज मैंने इतना कुछ पढ़ लिया था. एंड मैम ऑनेस्टली आई विल से दिस आई थिंक आई एटलीस्ट 3-4 क्वेश्चंस आई गॉट रॉन्ग बिकॉज ऑफ दैट क्योंकि मैंने
Yeah.
इतना सारे ऑप्शंस में विच वर वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चंस
Yeah.
I started overthinking कि हाँ ये भी हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, and I got them wrong. I know this.
I
तो
can feel
इसीलिए
you. I know where you're coming from. Believe me, I can really feel you when you see that, say that, because में बहुत सारे students को हम मिलते हैं day in and day out. And you know, the moment I meet a student and I talk with them, and I feel that ये बच्चा पढ़ रहा है, मगर पता नहीं कि ये बहुत confused है. And that's where it strikes me कि शायद, you know, whatever he or she is doing is too much for them to digest, or even, you know, to sort of apply it. So it's a very wise advice. वो अपने अपने experience से दे रहा है. Although he has done exceedingly well, no matter what he says, but Aditya has done exceedingly well. But yes, he is being truthful about what he feels was not the right strategy. And I think that is a very, very genuine thing to come across and say, right? Most people will not say, जो मैं कर रहा था वो गलत था. He's being very honest about it. But eventually, all is well, you know, because you've done not just well, you have done very well, Aditya. So you should, and it doesn't come by luck. Okay, so आपने जो पढ़ाई की है वो नुकसान नहीं दिया है उसने आपको, but yes, there is always scope for improvement, right? And that's why we
yes,
are
ma'am.
humans. We want more and more and more. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Aditya, and also, can you let us know that what was your take on the exam day? Something that you can give throw an insight on the exam, on distribution of subjects, or anything else that you feel is the right pattern for INI set?
Sorry, ma'am, I did not get it. About that, the particular exam or in general
Yes,
about the exam prep?
about INICET in specific.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think is the distribution, and anything else also that you feel is a vital piece of advice for, uh,
One
students
thing I'll
listening?
say is this, ma'am, कि do whatever ritual you want to, मतलब you do, but please in the exam hall be calm because, ma'am, I'll say this from my own experience. I have friends who are much more prepared, much better prepared, and who actually deserved better ranks than me. I know this, but they did not get it because, ma'am, this exam after after sitting in that paper, you will realize that there are some questions which you don't know, and it's not you should not panic because everyone is going through that
Yeah.
emotion only. So try to be calm. And ma'am, this exam in most of the cases, it gives you surprising results. It can be on the other end or from the better side or the bad side also. But
Yeah.
I'll say this: ki be calm. It's not the end of, ma'am. People are going to attempt NEET also, so it's not the end. I was also prepared, ma'am, because after that exam, I was sure कि I am not getting a good rank. I'll start preparing for NEET. So इसीलिए I'll say कि ज्यादा नहीं सोचना, मैम, हो जाएगा, कुछ खत्म नहीं हो रहा। मैं तो ऐसे ही सोच के मैं गया था।
बिल्कुल, बहुत अच्छी बात कही आपने, एंड दैट्स वेरी मोटिवेटिंग आल्सो. इट इज़ जस्ट वन ऑफ द एग्ज़ाम्स. देयर आर मोर अपॉर्च्युनिटीज़ कमिंग, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे दोज़ 3 आवर्स मैटर अ लॉट. एग्ज़ामिनेशन हॉल में पहुँचने से लेके ख़त्म करने तक
हाँ
आपका
हाँ
माइंडसेट, हाउ काम यू आर, कुछ क्वेश्चंस ही इज़ राइट विल बी न्यू फॉर एवरीवन. डोंट बॉदर, जस्ट कीप गोइंग विथ योर पेस, राइट? दैट्स वेरी एसेंशियल. Great. So, Aditya, what branch do you want to pursue, bache?
मैम, I'm thinking of medicine, but let's see what I get counseling के through. And
Yes.
I'll prefer medicine.
Great. I'm sure that you will do a good job, and you will do exceedingly well, whichever branch you're going to opt for. And lastly, Aditya, anything, suppose somebody hasn't done very well in this INICET, and they are a little disheartened about it, and they want to start afresh. What would be your advice for NEET first, because that is coming in a month's time? And then what would be your advice for INICET?
Ma'am, for NEET, it's I think everyone knows there is no. You should absolutely forget this exam because this exam is not meant for, मतलब it was not meant for you, सीधी बात. और मैम ऐसा है कि whatever ये resource you have, मैम, it's very basic, but revise as much as you can. जितने जल्दी revise कर सकते हो करो. एंड कुछ नहीं होगा, मैं तो यही सोचता हूँ मैम, क्योंकि ये ऐसा पेपर है, इट्स मतलब आई नो पीपल विल से कि आपने ही मुझे बोला कि मतलब इट्स अबाउट योर वर्क, बट आई विल से दिस कि इस एग्जाम में लक इज आल्सो अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. तो ज्यादा मत सोचो, बस करो नीट के लिए. एंड INICET फॉर नवंबर आई विल से दिस कि इतना भी बड़ा एग्जाम नहीं है, क्योंकि मैम आई आफ्टर द रिकॉल्स आई एंड इवन लास्ट टाइम आल्सो मैम व्हेन आई रिकॉल, तो मेरे को यही रियलाइज हुआ कि इतना हाई स्कोरिंग नहीं है जैसा पीपल A lot of people think that it's very high scoring, but it is not that high scoring. So इसीलिए कि just minimize your mistakes and clear your concepts. It will help you. It will
Right.
absolutely help you in the November all exam.
ग्रेट एंड इससे मुझे बस 2 बातें और बता दो। पहला आदित्य आपने कितने क्वेश्चंस अटेम्प्ट करे एंड हाउ मेनी डू यू थिंक वुड बी करेक्ट? जस्ट अप्रॉक्सिमेट अ रफ आइडिया।
Ma'am, I attempted 193 and
ओके,
I'll say कि I got around 154, 153, 154 correct only.
ओके, ओके एंड आपके ग्रैंड टेस्ट में ऑलमोस्ट कितने करेक्ट आते थे? सीबीटी में या ग्रैंड टेस्ट में कितने करेक्ट आते थे?
मैम मेरे करेक्ट मतलब मैम इन बोथ इन नीट वाले में अलग और उसमें देखा जाए दोनों में डिफरेंस होता था अराउंड 6-7 क्वेश्चंस का तो इन नीट वाले जीटीज आई यूज्ड टू गेट अबाउ 165 मतलब 168 170 के आसपास करेक्ट होते थे
ओके, ओके,
एंड इन आईएनआई आई यूज्ड टू गेट लाइक वही 158 टू 160 इसी रेंज में होता था 158 इसके
ओके।
आसपास
Great, great. So, Aditya, he's wishing you good luck and a very bright future ahead. I would just say thank you for making DAMS a part of your journey. It's been a pleasure
मैम
talking to you, and I have just all good wishes for you. And may you keep smiling and shining always. Thank you so much.
थैंक्स अ लॉट मैम थैंक्स अ लॉट and
Thank
also one more thing I want to
Yes,
say then ma'am
yes,
please continue your YouTube series ma'am the motivation that you both give is absolutely unmatched my YouTube
absolutely.
feed is actually filled with dance videos during the
That is
past 2-3 months I've seen I don't know how many videos
that's very sweet of you. We will try and give our best. Thank you so much,
thanks a lot
and it was a pleasure. Thank you.
thanks a lot